Hi everyone, and welcome back to our segment of Mantalk where we have a guest. I'd like to welcome back Colin Bartlett, who some of you may have seen on our show earlier. He's actually the convener of the Westmead Prostate Cancer Support Group. Welcome back to the show, Colin.
Men have about a 1 in 50 chance of being diagnosed with prostate cancer, and probably 1 in 10 have prostate cancer. So the odds of being detected with it are reasonably high. Some of them are quite serious, some of them are not. Okay. So in other words, it pays a man not to forget some of the statistics, which can be quite surprising.
Okay, now men, as we know, are often considered to be the worst at managing their own health. There's always this debate about the screening mechanism with prostate cancer. Do you think screening is a good thing or a bad thing, or is it of any value, or just going to a doctor regularly is probably the best?
The whole system really starts off with having enough incentive from your own doctor to go and see him and ask for a PSA test. Right. It is still the most reliable thing that we have. It's the start of the process.
Now, for people who don't know, a PSA is to check for prostate-specific antigens. Yep.
Yes.
Is that a blood test or is that a...
It's a blood test.
So it's a blood test. So does it mean, so what we're actually checking for is whether your body has produced antigens to fight the prostate cancer. Is that correct?
In other words, if the prostate is producing or has a cancer, it will produce this specific antigen,
right,
which is picked up in the blood with a simple blood test.
Yeah. The fact that our panel asked this question, I guess we should throw it open. Now, let's be honest, guys. How many of you have actually been for a prostate exam and been for one in, say, the last 2 years or so?
Sorry, never.
Never been?
No.
I have 2.5 years ago, but I never went back and got it done again.
Les, ever been for a prostate check?
Never.
See, now what do we say, Colin, to people like this who... Now, well, first off, I should ask, guys, why haven't you been? Because you think you're young and you're healthy, or you don't want to go, or it's the hand in the backside, or a combination of all the above? What
Probably the hand in the backside.
Yep, I second that motion.
Yeah.
I was scared at first, but I got talked into it, and I tell you, it was very uncomfortable for me, and for me to go back again,
So, Colin, let's say, how do we address that kind of a concern that guys have? I mean, I'm sure a pap smear for women isn't the most pleasant experience, and yet they seem to be more proactive in going for those kind of checks than men.
Exactly. Women, when they have the breast cancer scan done, that is very uncomfortable. Ask a man who's had breast cancer, and boy, it is uncomfortable. But when you consider that the PSA is the start, you have your PSA test.
Right.
If it registers, if there's something there,
right,
then they would say, okay, we will do the DRE, digital rectal examination. That is one of the most accurate methods of telling if there's an irregularity with the prostate,
yeah,
because you can feel 2/3 of it.
Right.
A finger is very, very sensitive. Now, having gone that far, you can see the importance of a DRE. It forms the second stage. If there's an irregularity, then you go to a urologist.
Okay, well, let's move on to that level. Let's say that there is an issue there, and for people, you know, who've actually been through this and been diagnosed with prostate cancer, I know that, for example, depression is like a really key issue that comes about with that. What does your group do in terms of helping people manage the issues of depression if they do come back with, you know, a sort of an outcome that, you know, might be of concern?
Most of the people who would come to a support group, and we try to encourage them, most of the urologists and doctors would have a leaflet to say to come to a support group.
Right.
When you join a support group, the first thing it gives you is, I suppose, settle the mind.
Right.
Depression is a big problem, but it's insidious. It's just very, very slow. It doesn't hit you like straight away.
Right.
But if you can allay the symptoms just by telling the guy, look, what have you got? These are the questions to ask a urologist. This is the direction you're going. And from what they can tell you, obviously you can set them on the correct path. Support groups run a very, very important part of the prostate cancer detection.
Right. Well, for all of you out there, if you want support, or you're going through, or you want to talk to some people or get some more information, have a look at the address and email and phone you see on the screen right now, and make sure you get out there and actually get a prostate check, because, well, I've had them. I don't think it's as bad as these guys make out. And let's face it, it's your own health, and putting your head in the sand is not going to make any difference. So make sure, guys, you get out there and get a prostate check sooner rather than later. Okay, well, thank you for your time, Colin. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, Jason.